Good morning, inflatable fans. It is early doors, it's just after 4 o'clock and I'm heading through to Filey to hopefully have a paddle in the sea. I've checked the tide times. It looks like the tide will still be coming in when I get there for a couple of hours, and I thought I'll go and have a little paddle for a little while and then pop and see my mum because she lives in Filey. But I've just noticed through the archway there it looks like there's a really nice sunset going on, even though around this house nothing. So let's see if we can find that en route. Yeah, there is a little bit of a nice sunrise going on over there, although it's doubtful as to whether this camera will really pick that up. Not to worry, let's crack on. Okay, I've arrived in sunny Filey today, and just to let you know, I'm recording some of this, like this bit now, has been recorded on the XTU action cam, which I've been trialling out, and I'm going to be recording some of this on the GoPro, and then hopefully some footage on this too. I'm going to be using a chest mount today, predominantly for because the camera on the side of the boat last time I did this. In fact, if you remember last time I did this, this happened. Don't like it! Yeah, that was quite interesting, and I'm hoping that's not going to happen today. I'm using the Brent. I have wanted to try this in the Go Plus, but the Brent's just a little bit wider, so a little bit more stable, and whilst the sea can chuck you any way it wants, yeah, the Brent's a bit more stable. But anyway, as I've got here, as you'll see, the tide is really calm. Let's go and have a quick look before I get set up. It is really bright down here today. There might be a little bit of wind noise, even though it's quite calm on the microphone, purely because I'm not using any wind mufflers on the mics today, because they just get wet. But over there, I don't know whether the camera's picking this up, but Bempton Cliffs are really stood out in the morning sun, with them being chalky. Looks amazing actually. High tide is due about 7:40, so we've still got a good way to go, and it is quite high up, and look at that, it's so calm. There's nothing in the way of breakers to be concerned about, is there? Wow. Yeah, Bempton Cliffs over there look amazing. I'm not going to pan the camera all the way around because the sun will just glare it out. I mean, that looks amazing, right? There are no warning flags set up, so nothing to be concerned about today. Let's get set up. Right, let's just get under there for a minute. Get in. Right. Pop in. Well, I'm in. That was so easy getting in here because this boat is so stable. I'm just going to get out past where it's breaking just so I can set the other camera up. Oh wow, it's beautiful. Yeah, right, so I'm just going to turn around. Look at that. Hey, so calm. So as I say, the tide is still pulling in and will be for another hour or so. I don't know whether I'll be able to get out where I launched just over there. Probably, but we'll see. So let's have a little paddle along the seafront, eh? I have to tell you what, we'll go to the far side first, I think. I'm not going far out. I'm just doing what I wanted to do first time I did this, which was have a paddle along the shoreline, really. Well, this is very pleasurable. It's just such a different experience doing this to paddling on a canal or on a river. And it's so calm that you can actually paddle across what would be the waves, because there's nothing coming in this direction to tip you out, which is how I got tipped out last time, fannying around with the camera. I can't get over how good Bempton looks lit up in the morning sun. I kind of hope one or both of these cameras will pick that up. The sky might look a little bit ominous. We're not due for any rain today, but the wind is coming this way. It's slightly northerly, so it would be blowing me back to shore. Northeasterly. It's quite weird feeling the waves underneath the boat. I have walked across this seafront so many times, but this is the first time that I've ever paddled along it, and it's kind of nice. Actually, now that's a bit weird, because I'll show you. So you see where the waves are now lapping up against the sea wall? That's now creating a reverse wave. So as well as the waves going in, there is now a wave coming out. There we go. And it feels different and weird. Good test of this little action cam. I've got it in super stability mode. So as I get past this bit that's more stuck out here, and that's where the paddling pool is in Filey, it should settle down with the cross waves again for a bit. It is an absolutely glorious morning. I'm so glad I've decided to do this today. Yeah, so now the waves aren't having anything to lap up against just yet. The cross waves have stopped and there's just the incoming. I've no intention of going far today. I might have mentioned I'm seeing my mum. So I want to be there for about 10 o'clock. So that's why I thought I'd get here early, have a little paddle, and do basically what I wanted to do last year when I was on here, which was have a paddle across the seafront, really, and just get comfortable with being on the sea. Looks good with the contrast there, doesn't it? The sun lighting up the cliffs, but with the dark clouds in the background. All the gulls sat on the water. It does look a bit grey out Flamborough and Bempton way at the minute. Hello. Right, well, we've reached the end of Filey Prom, so let's turn around and go the other way. Looking out towards the brig, there's no big waves crashing over there. It's all very calm. I actually had a new PFD to try, and I was going to put it on this morning, so you might have noticed the absence of the PFD. And whilst I would normally prefer to have one on, couldn't use the chest cam. So considering the water's so calm, thought I'd risk it. Now we're going back, and the tide is just that little bit further in, and those reverse waves are creating quite a little bit of chop slap. Hey, look at that, bouncing me about a little bit. It's quite good fun actually. It is a bit weird. Let's see if I can show you. I wonder if you can see from there the waves coming back at me. Rocking me about a little bit, but not in a bad way. What it does do in a very gentle fashion is remind you of the unpredictable nature, A, of water, and definitely B, of the sea. It's just lovely. I'm using for the first time the actual seat that comes with this craft. I've only used my normal stadium seat and cushion previously. It's not too bad, to be honest with you, it's quite comfortable. I do feel a bit lower down though, and actually maybe today, that's maybe not a bad thing. I think what we'll do is paddle along to Yacht Club over there in the distance, and then back, and see how we're doing for time then. I'm just approaching now where I dropped in. It is quite reassuring when you look out to the horizon. It looks really flat, where the sea meets the sky, and that's a good thing, because normally when it's really rough looking out there, then it would be really rough here too. I'll just show you something. Turn around, you see all those chalets there? Well, every year my dad used to paint those. They used to be owned by a family called the Bakers, and yeah, Richard Baker used to employ my dad to paint those, and I used to help him out from time to time. Bempton is lit up by the sun again. It'll be interesting to see what this camera picks up. The XTU. It is funny sometimes when you look at the the waves on the water, it looks like the water's doing something it's not. For me at this moment in time, it looks like the water is rushing out that way, away from the coast. But it's not. It's just the way the ripples are moving on the water and the way the light's catching them. And yeah, this is Filey Sailing Club. We just used to call it Yacht Club. And up that hill, it takes you to the caravan park. The only thing I'm regretting this morning is not bringing my coffee with me out of the car. Because it would be just lovely sat here drinking some coffee. Not to worry, I've got it for later. I think you can tell, I mean, I'm barely bobbing around here, it's so calm. With these cliffs being made of clay, you do get some wonderful formations as the water runs down. But unfortunately, that also means they're eroding. These cliffs have moved back quite considerably over the years. Now that's really weird. The ripples on the water have changed as I move into this kind of really sheltered bit, but I don't feel like I'm getting anywhere at all. That's weird, it's a weird feeling, that. Anyway, that aside, they are quite impressive looking, those cliffs, aren't they? And then over on the other side, you've got Bempton, which is old chalk. Right, I think I'm going to turn round. I am getting swept along and a little bit out here. So yeah, I'm going to turn around. Up ahead there, I can see an orange float on the water. Filey has quite a collection of wild swimmers, people who like to come out and swim early doors on the water, in the water even. Morning. I thought I'd have seen more of you lot out this morning.
Sorry?
I thought I'd have seen more of you lot out this morning. There's normally quite a collection of you.
Oh, I don't know, I come on my own usually.
Ah, right, okay. Normally see quite a few out here.
Oh, is there?
Hmm.
I thought there was someone earlier, but then when I looked again, it was a seal, and you know when you think, oh God. It's my worst nightmare when they pop up. And he's gone that way.
I think a shark could be worse.
Oh God. The jellyfish should have me out.
Anyway, have fun. Filey does look good when it's all lit up by the sun, doesn't it? The early morning sun. I mean, that is just such a beautiful view across this bay. Anyway, swimmer lady, she said she'd seen a seal. I haven't seen any. I'm very disappointed. Right, been out for about 45-50 minutes. It's 6:30 in the AM. I'm definitely going to be ready for some breakfast this morning. And I'm not cooking out, I'm just going to go to the bakery. They do some rather nice bacon and cheese wraps. Oh.
Oh yeah, I could murder one of them today. And a steak pie. Looks like there's somebody going to launch there, a little motorboat. I'm not actually sure whether to get out there or where I launched. Can have a look at both, I guess. The one where I launched is steeper, so where that boat is now, that would be the easier get out. But it's further to walk. You know, back to the car. Further to walk. So this is sea wall here, and spent many a time as a kid watching the waves crash over there, and especially on a particularly high tide. So we'll head over there to where I dropped in and see if it's easy enough to get out. I mean, it doesn't matter if not, can always paddle back, can't I? And get out the other way. So what do you think of this little jaunt this morning on Filey seafront and on the sea? I've really enjoyed this actually. And if you've enjoyed this little video, it'd be great if you could do the whole thumbs up routine. If you don't like it, you know what to do, just give it a thumbs down. And if you like what I'm doing on the channel, if you hit the subscribe and that bell notification, you might see something else you like as well that I've done. You can always ignore the videos you don't like. Some people watch my channel just for the geocaching, some people for the kayaking, some people for the camping, some people for bits of both. I get a lot of comments on the reviews. It's all good. So it's a bit steep on the right hand side there, but centrally that might not be too bad. It's just with this having this bottom skeg in, it makes it a bit more awkward. Front skeg, sorry. They're all in the bottom. What an idiot. Yeah, I think that's doable. I think I can just nose it up. That's the skeg. Oh, I'm out again. Right, get out quick. Ah, that's it. There we go. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this. I'll see you in the next video. It might not be a cooked breakfast after a kayaking trip, but pasties and coffee in the car with that as your view over Filey Bay. It's not to be sniffed at. It's a good way to end the trip.